Jared and Katie in the morning, 107.5 KZL. Time for Jared and Katie's pop quiz. The way the game works, we have 5 pop culture questions. We have 60 seconds on the clock. You get right then, Katie, you do win $100 on the year. Katie has 153 wins against only 2 losses. Matt, who's playing today?
Today, it's Elizabeth. She's got 3 guinea pigs.
Oh, really? All right, Elizabeth. Any other pets?
Nope, just a guinea pig.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the game?
I don't.
All right, if you get stuck, you can pass. If there's time remaining, we'll go back to the ones you passed on. Here we go. Question number 1 is multiple choice. This rapper announced he's about to become a grandpa for the first time. Is it Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, or Eminem?
Eminem.
Yes. This singer showed off her dramatic weight loss and said she now feels bad for overeating.
Is it Lizzo?
It is. This pop singer said to critics who don't like her lingerie-style concert outfits, don't come to the show.
Pass.
A movie director is saying this A-list actor is a nice guy, but is a farter. And they had to pause filming for 3 hours on a movie they were filming.
Pass.
Who sings this?
I know it's hard sometimes. I know it's hard sometimes.
Oh, go back to the other ones.
This pop singer said to critics who don't like her lingerie-style concert outfits, don't come to the show.
I have no idea. Would it be Meg the Stallion? I don't know.
No. A movie director is saying this A-list actor. Oh, time is up.
I've got 2.
You started off
Number
hot.
2.
Hot start. Fade at the end. All right, let's get Katie back in here from the soundproof booth. Jalen, you mind intern Jalen? He might be our most polite intern of all time.
He seriously is. He'll text me every morning when he's here, and it's the nicest text.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, I'm out front whenever you have a moment if you'd let me in.
I don't know who's Jalen's parents are, but they should be proud. He's very polite.
Unreal.
So polite.
He'll borrow headphones, and then he'll unplug them and wrap them up and put them back, and it's like, wait, what?
Which is like unheard of these days.
Yeah.
Just thoughtful.
Unheard of in here.
Yeah.
Really, for being honest.
No,
For
yeah, we don't
part-time, full-time, nobody does it.
No one. We just steal each other's headphones and then
Yep.
throw them in the trash. All right, Katie, the score to beat is 2.
Alrighty.
Matt, how many questions will Katie get right?
4.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Question number 1 is multiple choice. This rapper announced he's about to become a grandpa for the first time. Is it Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, or Eminem?
It's Eminem.
Yes. This singer showed off her dramatic weight loss and said she now feels bad for overeating.
Lizzo.
Yes. This pop singer said to critics who don't like her lingerie-style concert outfits, don't come to the show.
Pass.
A movie director is saying this A-list actor is a nice guy, but he's a farter. They had to pause filming for 3 hours on one of the movies.
So gross. Will Smith.
Yes. Who sings this?
I know it's hard sometimes. I know it's hard sometimes.
21 Pilots.
Yes. For all 5, this pop singer said to critics who don't like her lingerie-style concert outfits, don't come to the show. You have 10 seconds.
Katy Perry.
Nope. She would say that, though. All right. Katie won 4-2. Matt predicted correctly.
Nice prediction.
There you go.
Let's recap the questions. Question number 1 is multiple choice. This rapper announced he's going to be a grandpa for the first time. Eminem.
Eminem is used to causing a fuss. Marriage is not about animal lusting.
Eminem will be battling to win the most prizes at this year's MTV Europe Awards.
Rap fans snap up Eminem tickets.
Yeah, and Katie made me watch this video, made me cry this morning.
All 5 minutes of it. It's a really sweet tribute from, Eminem himself. He wrote a song for his daughter, Haley.
Yeah, the song is sweet.
It's very sweet. I mean, there's some parts that are kind of trashy.
Wait. Is this a new song?
Yeah. It's his song.
Okay, how old's Haley now?
20.
And she's the one that's having the
Something.
kid?
Yeah, she's married. She got married, and she's having the baby. And the whole video, did you post it by chance? If not,
Yeah,
I
it's
can.
there.
Okay. The video is posted, but it's a 5-minute thing where like there's all these home videos of Haley and Eminem when she was little and a baby, and then growing up, and then now, and then it's where she surprises Eminem at the very end and hands him a jersey, and it says "Grandpa" on it.
He's got it.
So it's
Yeah,
very
he
sweet.
And he looks very young in the. There's some videos of him when they were getting when she was getting married and he was giving her away.
He looks younger than she does.
It's crazy.
Now it's
You think it's the beard?
It's the beard and the different color hair.
He's dyeing it.
Mhm.
Yeah. His face looks pretty young, but recapping pop quiz, Katie won 4 to 0, 2, 4 to 2.
4 to 2.
This singer showed off her dramatic weight loss. Said she now feels bad for overeating. That is Lizzo.
Yes, and it is the constant struggle because you can lose some weight.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, if you overindulge one day, you just think, oh my God, I'm right back to where I was.
Right.
It's not true, but it's the mentality. That's the mental work that you have to do.
I have felt guilty like that before.
It's should. Awful.
Especially, like, I'll tell you, Jared, you can't relate, but this is very true. You do all this work all week, and then you go out one night. And you come back home midnight or whatever, you're coming back home, and there's like a frozen pizza there, and you eat the entire thing.
He can relate.
Well, he does that.
You're talking about drinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, like
once you drink or after a night of drinking, so I don't know what it is. If you forget to eat or something, you become, am I wrong?
No, you're totally right.
Starving to death, and nothing else matters. You'll eat anything. It doesn't matter.
Anything.
And once you start, you can't stop.
Katie, aren't you famous for doing something with a loaf of bread when you were drunk?
I wasn't drunk, Jared.
You weren't drunk?
I was not drunk.
I was
I was
stoned.
high
Okay.
God.
in my dorm room at Appalachian State. So
You
there
ate
it
a
is.
whole loaf of bread?
A whole loaf of white bread
To be
in
fair,
one sitting.
Love it.
they actually tried to investigate in marijuana. I'm saying the medical term.
Marijuana.
Because they thought for people that, they're kind of too skinny, it actually stimulated their appetite. And I think that's because whenever you take a bite of something, the flavor's just enhanced that much more.
I am all for it. All for it.
Eating loaves of bread?
Maybe not that part, but using marijuana if we're using the as medicine. Yeah.
By the way, if it's 100% wheat, you're okay with the bread.
It was not. I think it was like
just so everyone knows.
It was not. I think it was 99-cent Wonder
Like
Bread,
King-
maybe,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Sara Lee or something.
Yeah.
Or the bunny.
What's the one that's in? I can tell you, it's the one that is It looks longer because the slices are a little bit thinner and they're square.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's long.
Is
it's
it King? No.
Bunny? Is it bunny?
Maybe
Might
it's
be bunny. I think it's bunny.
I don't know. It's whatever I could buy
they're
at the
delicious.
school store.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Wonderful. I'm proud of you, really. I am. This pop singer said to critics who don't like her lingerie-style concert outfits, don't come to the show. Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh.
Former guest in here. She was...
Who in the hell is complaining about that? I thought you were going to say like Madonna, but I can see that. But
Complain about anything.
The ladies who take their boyfriend who can't stop staring at her, probably.
Then don't take your boyfriend.
I mean, come on.
And I guess she was Disney, and then it's now...
I didn't know she did that during her show.
Oh, yeah.
But I figure
all
everybody
the clips
does.
are her
Yeah.
very lingerie heavy.
After
Lingerie
she,
heavy.
Skin to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lingerie heavy.
When she was here in the studio, remember, Jared?
Yeah.
She was kind of more conservative. And then all of a sudden, she looked like she just started working at the strip club. And that's what a lot of pop artists do that become famous.
Yep.
Yep. And they'll even be told if you don't buy into sex sells, then you won't sell and you won't be famous.
Yeah, you're thinking...
I don't know. Is that true now? I mean,
Yes.
Adele.
That's an exception to the rule. That's
And
like...
even Adele, well, no, Adele doesn't, but Lizzo
does.
Trying to think of...
But do we want Lizzo to do that?
Yes, people do.
I'm
Jason, just because you don't find it attractive.
I'm just asking. Everybody has their thing. I didn't know that.
Yes, we do want.
Okay.
Yeah, there's percentages for everyone. Niche things. And all right, recapping pop
I don't
quiz.
think it's niche, like making it seem like it's...
Interns insensitive. He's
niche.
laughing.
You can laugh into the mic. Go ahead, Jalen. We give you permission.
What does niche
There you
mean?
go.
Isn't it like a small group?
Yes.
I think
But I feel like-
percentage-wise of men, they're not like, oh, I can't wait to see Lizzo in lingerie.
I don't know.
Percentage-wise?
I really don't know.
I think the majority of men.
I don't know. Okay,
Here we go with the feelings over facts.
No, shut up. You're the king of that.
Seriously.
You're the king. Percentage-wise, no. But is it much larger than you give credit for? 100%.
Well, yes, because if it's less than 1% of the country, that's still 1 million people.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. One of my friends, he works at a label. This was like 15 years ago. We went down off of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. There's a strip club down that way. And we went all the way there because I had a friend of mine, a partner of mine, owned it. It was in a pretty rough area, but it was a really nice strip club. And there was a girl that looked just like Lizzo, maybe a little bigger. And he just thought it was funny and all that. So I got him a dance on the couch. I swear I turned around. All I could see, he's shorter than me. I could see 2 feet sticking out under. That's it. And I'm like, oh, my God, you're killing him. I thought he was not breathing.
That's
and
hilarious.
Then she finally got up, and he just had a big smile on his face.
He loved it.
He just likes that.
You passed out for a little bit.
Like being smothered. Yeah. Like a weighted
Smothered
blanket.
and covered. It's like the
It's like at the Waffle House.
Waffle House, yeah. All right, recapping pop quiz. This is gross, and I'm sure there's a niche of people that like it, but ugh. A movie director is saying this A-list actor is a nice guy, but is a farter. Like, it was known on the set, he farts all the time.
And it clears rooms. Like, it's foul.
Yes. And that it paused filming for 3 hours. That's Will Smith.
All right, this is how we know if we got real fans in the house. This is how we know.
This was on Ellen years ago.
In West Philadelphia. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing on, cooling off.
He was in a scene in Men in Black, and they said it was hermetically sealed car for the scene that they did where the car's transforming. And as soon as he got in, he goes, he yelled out to the director. He's in there with Tommy Lee Jones, who I don't think has a sense of humor at all.
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
And it was like, we got to pause. And then they said they were bringing a ladder because apparently this car was up on like some soundstage, like high up, a ladder for them to climb out, and they had to unseal it. And before the ladder could get there, like Tommy Lee Jones' leg was like dangling, like trying to get out of the thing. And they cleared the set for 3 hours because it stunk so bad.
What was it? Maybe he was eating something like a lot of protein because Will Smith is in shape, especially probably then. When you eat too much protein, and by the way, Katie, I heard too much is actually not good for you.
Oh, okay.
But if you are having like those protein shakes, it can make you have the worst stomach issues.
The worst farts my daughter has ever had. She's going to love this if she hears it.
Right.
The worst fart she ever had. We bought the Costco-sized box of protein bars, and we were noticing that she was having some horrible gas.
Yeah.
Absolute clearing the room, lingering forever, like very Will Smith-esque, right? We found out she had been eating 2 of the protein bars a day.
Oh.
Yeah, that's too much for her age.
Yes,
if you look
for her little body.
Yeah.
If you look it up, it says having too much protein is not good for you.
Too much of anything, I guess.
Yeah. And Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts every time.
Yeah.
But
jeez.
damn, they're delicious.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to have gas, which Katie has had gas.
Everybody does.
All 17 plus years of knowing her has not passed gas in front of me. One time you tried on not while we're at work.
Yeah, not while we're at work.
Like on vacation and stuff, you did it as a joke, and I ran down the street. Well, I walked quickly down the street.
It was fun.
I still didn't hear it, so I'm happy.
Others applauded me.
I
but,
filmed it.
Yeah, you did.
So, like at home, you might be a farter, but on the set, you said he would just fart all the time.
And I think that is beyond rude.
You can control it.
Yes, you can. And if anything, I could say the least you could do would be to clench and suck it back up into your body.
Yeah, they're like, hey,
oh my gosh,
you
that
know?
hurts.
No, I don't care.
But what we could do is just go somewhere else.
Yes.
Right. So, hey, pause. I can use the bathroom. He did apologize because I guess it sounds
slipped.
like it was a silent but deadly, and he was
but
like, I'm sorry.
Not everybody can help it. I mean, if you're having stomach issues,
I think if you're
you're
having stomach issues,
constipated.
yes, but if you're having stomach issues on a day that you're being hermetically sealed into a car for
Right.
a scene,
That would
I'd
be
be like, you know
terrible.
what? We probably need to postpone.
Yeah, let's postpone for a minute.
Yeah.
Also, when we have our promotions meeting, if you're listening to the show, you don't know what that is, but we all, like, both morning shows are in there. There's management in there. There's salespeople in there. If you just took a glance at the table, a bunch of farters around the table.
No doubt.
And no one's farting.
No one's ever. No.
Well, you don't know exactly
Yeah.
because it could be silent.
Well,
It
we would know.
could
We
be,
haven't
but-
heard one or smelt one. And that in 17 years, and Katie, 19 years.
Not yet. It's definitely a table of
You
farters.
can control it for the most part.
For the most part.
I think farts are constantly brewing at that table.
Oh, they are, because as soon as I leave, I go down. and use the
Without
bathroom.
a doubt.
Because we're eating in there too.
Yeah.
We're adding.
Ew.
We're adding to it. All right, and
Sick.
who sings this? Recapping pop quiz. Katie won 4-2.
I know it's hard sometimes.
21 Pilots. Katie, another win.
Yes.
Jared and Katie's pop quiz.
There are 4 types of women that turn men off right away.
They wear flats.
No, no, these are
They have their own
different.
opinions.
Yeah, they speak. No, but you know how you hear like some women are natural mother figures.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, for example, right? Bad news if that's what you've ever been called, or you consider yourself a mother figure, because that's one of the things that turns men off the most right away. We're going to tell you how to find out if you are the mother figure.
A mother figure.
A mother figure.
I
Certain
thought
things you
milfs
do.
were a thing.
No, that's different.
Okay.
Mother figure. Or
Totally
maybe
different.
you're one of the
Very
other 3.
different.
Very. We'll define it for you. That's next.
Jared and Katie in the morning, 107.5 KZL.
There are 4, count them 4, different ways that women are that turn men off immediately.
They wear flats.
No, that's not it. These are kind of
Oh.
like stereotypical things.
Okay.
Like you hear sometimes women will say, even to other women, oh, she's the mom of our group. Or
Oh, yeah.
She's the mother figure. She's the mother figure. Well, that turns men off because they do view you as somebody that they can confide in. And so if
Why
they're
would that be a
confiding,
turnoff?
well, because if they're confiding in you and telling you all about their love life and the problems they're having and the things that are going on, then they're not viewing you as an attractive mate. We're assuming everybody's single here, by the
Really?
way.
Right. No,
Yeah.
yeah. I can see if someone is motherly.
Like offers the advice,
Or-
they're who
or
you
even-
turn to.
Yeah, it is a turnoff.
Mhm. 'Cause,
How?
well, not necessarily. Yeah, you're just not viewing them that way
You're not,
to begin with.
You're not viewing them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. In
Yeah.
in a physical way.
I've heard people say like, I have a mother, or I have a father. I don't need another one.
Right. Exactly.
No, I
Yeah.
get that, but somebody that's going to listen and relate with you and talk with you, I don't understand that's a turnoff. To me, that's like,
I don't think it's just the listening. I think you want someone who listens to talk. I think it's they then kind of give you like motherly
the advice
advice.
and comfort you when you're feeling down.
holy
and
cow, I would beg for that. Are you kidding?
They're
Like,
not-
When I think of like motherly figure, I think of somebody that if we're eating something, they're gonna like reach over it.
Like, don't
you know
eat
what I mean?
that.
Like,
You
don't
should-
eat that. No, that's
Right.
not good for you. Let me clean this off your face. You've got a smudge, and they lick their finger and
Yeah,
like try
you're
to
like,
fix your hair,
Yeah.
tell you what to wear, how to dress.
Oh,
Those
I
things.
don't like that.
You need to go to bed.
Yeah, they're almost like trying to raise you versus be with you.
yeah.
It's 9 time.
And so it's somebody that you're not going to be, thinking of ways to seduce.
Correct.
You're going to
Yeah.
go to them if there's an issue or you want to feel better.
Yeah, because we've all run into people that are the mom of the group,
Sure.
and they're the ones that's like ruining the fun.
Because they're the ones that I feel like have to keep everybody sane.
We've got plans
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. tomorrow. If we stay out any later, we're not going to make it.
And the girl's like talking to you. You're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you go home?
Did
and
you
sleep?
fall? I have Band-Aids in my purse. Hang on.
Right.
so this is just motherly figure, not MILF.
No, motherly figure,
Yeah,
not
that's- okay.
milf.
That's just someone who has kids
Yeah.
that you're attracted
Uh-huh.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
got
hot
you.
person with a child.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
This person probably, maybe doesn't even have kids in
Probably
the first
not.
place. It's
Probably
just
not.
Yeah.
somebody you view as a mother figure.
I see.
Another type of woman that repels men, the mean one.
Well, yeah.
The mean one. I don't really on the show, yeah. But I'm not mean, like joking, yes, but not mean to people. And I was never mean to guys when I was single. Never
No, I
mean.
mean, I think
Oh,
anytime
no,
we've
no,
been
no.
out as a show, just hanging out or whatever, Katie's not mean.
No, I'm not.
No, you're super nice superficially until they
No,
leave the room.
It's not. This
Then
is a
it-
different dynamic.
Just between the
Okay.
hours of 4:30 in the morning and 12:30 in the afternoon,
Correct.
Katie's
Yeah.
to be more mean. Then
Monday
after
through
that,
Friday.
After that, different person.
It's something
Yeah.
about that doorway that when she walks
is.
You
in.
may start coming in the front door instead of the back door.
No,
Maybe
no,
that's what
this
it is.
door.
Oh, into
This
the studio.
door. Yeah, into
Oh.
the
Okay.
studio. But
Oh.
this is who we are. I can turn it on and turn it off.
That's true. We're all a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. We're not playing a part. I don't
No,
mean
we're-
that,
I-
but
we're
it's
authentic.
Yeah, I don't mean playing a part, but it's like
Our job is we are forced. I mean, we choose to, but forced to give opinions.
to take
when you
away
give
the
opi-
pleasantries.
Yeah, and when you give opinions, you
Mhm.
open yourself up for ridicule.
Right.
And then all of us in here are sharks. As soon as there's blood in the water, we attack, we attack, we attack.
Yes.
There has been some ridicule though on our morning show thread text messages.
Well, that is a continuation of
Oh,
the show.
yeah, that's true.
I'm probably meaner in that than I am in here.
You
Yes,
are.
you are.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
dude,
like Matt
seriously?
on that
It's,
sometimes.
it's annoying.
If it
Because
could
when Matt responds,
transfer over.
when Matt responds, which is rare, then you know, oh, what's this coming in?
Yeah. It's usually something like some snarky comment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which I enjoy.
90% of the time directed at Jared.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, again, the one person who probably gives you the most compliments, I get slammed the most by you.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, your guard's down.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's coming back up.
Everybody else is just protecting themselves.
Guard is back up.
Well, if you are considered the mean one, it's that some women really do think that treating men meanly is a good way to get them interested or to get them to notice you. But it really only, this is according to a psychiatrist, it really only works with guys who have low self-esteem, and then you end up in an unhealthy power dynamic.
Yeah,
You know?
Well, I can see that because I think sometimes when women can come across mean, it's like it's almost like they're also playing. That's hard to get. It's like, oh, they're mean. It's going to be hard. I can't have what I want. She's not just giving in to me. Although I'll tell you, I think a lot of guys prefer the no games thing.
Yes, I prefer the no games.
Yeah.
But for whatever it is, guys and girls, it's once they kind of can see that, oh, I can get him quick. There's a lot of times where it's the keeping them on their toes that is an attraction. So it's like, it is a game. It still is. No matter what you say, it's still part of a game when you're starting to date.
But when you're the mean one, I think you attract somebody who could be a doormat in the future or already is one because they tolerate it.
Right.
They'll just quote unquote put up with it because
I think someone maybe is a little bit healthier, they might see it as a challenge. Like, wait, what's wrong with this person? And then they get to know them. They're like, oh, they're actually mean. No, thank you.
Yeah.
They're mean. I went out one time. This is a couple of years ago with some friends, and somebody brought some of their friends. Like, oh, by the way, my one friend, she's the mean one. I mean, she like said that. I'm like, what? I said, but don't worry about it. Don't think anything of it. And I was like, she's exaggerating. She was the biggest bee.
Why are they friends?
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, can she go home?
Oh.
Like, she ruined the whole evening. Like, no one wanted to be around her. That's just how she is. Like, I don't like that.
Nobody likes
But
that.
do you think maybe the mean person doesn't have good self-esteem?
Yes.
It could be.
I think so.
Yeah.
If you have self-esteem, you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be open.
And kind to others.
I think kindness is being vulnerable.
Well, I told you.
Because I'm kind of Matt, and he just stomps all over my heart.
And we laugh.
I told you when I went on that trip, there was a girl in the group that I did not know. Nobody knew her except for she was friends with whoever brought her. And she was mean. I mean, mean as hell for me to the point that she hated me from at day one. Hate, and said stuff like, basically, I can't even say on the air. But after a day or two, after we got to know it, we became friends. Really good. I mean, I'm not friends with her now.
Yeah.
We became really good friends on the trip. I swear to you. And it just shows that sometimes it's just a barrier or a front or something.
Yeah, I definitely think it's them, not you. In the sense of anybody who comes across that way in general has something going on.
Yeah, that you just met. And they're just mean to
well,
you.
Yeah.
She used to be a model, and she had a baby, and I think she was very self-conscious of the way she looked.
Yeah, so then those are her issues.
Yeah.
Not, and then to treat other people
poorly.
That's awful.
Well, she didn't like my views.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it, but I wouldn't be mean to your face while we're out in public.
Oh, super.
Right.
Yeah.
Super.
Okay. Well,
that seems to happen to me a lot.
Yeah, I wonder why. Right. There are 4 types of women that repel men immediately, and you might not even realize that you are one of these. The first one was mother figure. The second one was the mean one, the maid. There are women who think that it's like kind of acts of service in a way, that if I clean up or I do things for him or I make sure the meals, this is for dating, but like his laundry, the meals, the straightening up the house. If you're doing it for him, he's going to be like, this is what she does. This is who she is.
You're setting the bar too high?
The cleaner-upper. This is, like I'm not necessarily attracted to that person, and then he'll just let you do it.
I don't know about that. I mean, would you want somebody sloppy and messy?
No, this is for a woman who thinks that if they do everything for a man, that the man will in turn like them romantically.
They're doing
like
that
though?
To get them.
They're doing that to get them.
A bunch of women do it. Yeah.
Nice gestures?
It's when you work too hard to become indispensable.
It's almost a cheap way of love bombing.
Okay.
Because you're doing things that are not. You're doing it for the purpose to manipulate.
Yeah, you're not doing it
You're
because you truly want to.
Like you're like, I'm going to do all these different things to try to get it where he can't live without me. And then love bombing, men do it too, women. Men typically, when they do it, it's lavish gifts. Let's go on a vacation right away, meet my family right away, so that you get so immersed and entangled that it's like, oh, now it's awkward to get out of this thing.
Yeah. I think
I don't know if it's intentional, but if you're not being who you really are, I mean,
out of all the ones you've mentioned so far, that one right there to me is the least problematic.
I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, because if you haven't seen the movie, you won't know. Did you see 27 Dresses with Katherine Heigl? Okay, just bear with me for a second. Katherine Heigl is in love with her boss. She also happens to be his personal assistant, if you will.
Yes.
And she has his life buttoned up. She knows now that is the job of a personal assistant. However, she has his professional life buttoned up, and then she has his personal life buttoned up. You have this appointment. You have that. Where's my tie? It's right here. Where's my jacket? I got it. Where am I having dinner? Oh, I made you reservations. I have your laundry. And in her mind, she thought, he can't live without me. And one day he's going to look at me and realize he can't live without me. Yeah. No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's going to look right past you.
That's manipulation.
You're the one who, but it was weird in the movie because she's being paid to do it, but she was in love with him. And so she wanted to make life as easy as possible that he'd have time for her.
I don't know if that's manipulation so much as that she wants to do these things so she's likable. Is that manipulation?
I think if you're doing things that aren't natural to you to make someone like you, and it's not really who you are, that's
could be
manipulation.
Natural, though, if you're
it's different than someone who's just naturally tidy and clean and organized, and maybe a doer and they're a busybody. That's different. If I'm saying, all right, I don't think Jason will date me unless I'm going to come over to his house. We're going to hang out. I'm going to, offer to make dinner, clean it up, do do his laundry. When that's not something you would normally do, you're doing it for the sole purpose of trying to almost entrap them.
Yeah, the same act can be both, but it's all about the motivation behind it.
Exactly.
Okay, let me ask all of you then.
Yeah.
When you go on a date, I hate to say this, but you are, you could try to be authentic as you want, but you are putting on somewhat of a front, because you might want to be talking about boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, or girlfriends, and not to do that. That's not good on date. So you are not 100%. You're always trying to. Is that all manipulation?
If you're doing it to trick someone, yes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be nice, you're not going to be. If something aggravates you, and then normally you would blurt out something, you probably won't do that in the first 6 months. I think it's a slippery slope there.
You don't have to agree with all of them.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't agree with that one. I'm talking about, is it manipulation?
I think Matt's hit it on the head.
Yeah.
It's your motivation behind it. You're like, how long can I keep this up until they really like me? Then they're going to drop doing it because that's not really who they are.
And it's kind of the same conversation that we have about when Jason, I'll try to make this hit home for you. You say something that's offensive to people, but you don't have malicious intent in saying it. You didn't realize, I'm saying this and it's offending people, and so you try to learn from it. I think if your intent is to be offensive, then that's more of a problem than if you accidentally do it. So it's all about the intent of the person who is doing this. If it's like, I'm going to do these things because I want,
because they're not going to like me. They're not going to like me for who I am.
Exactly.
I got to do everything else to try to obscure who I am.
I get that. At the same time, I think if you think you like somebody and you really want them to like you, you try to do things to make the other person like you.
But the point is that person is not going to just based off those actions.
Okay.
Like it's like that time that Hugs. Remember intern Hugs? When Hugs, he didn't really want the money. I mean, I'm sure it was nice. He didn't really want to pick up trash at the parties that you invited him to. But he did it because he wanted to get on your good side. Jason.
That's right.
That is crazy.
That is so true. It's true.
Good money.
You can pay him good money,
but
he
knew he was going to be berated.
Yeah, he knew.
Berated?
Yes.
Where was he berated?
He knew that you on the air,
like he had to come back
face.
3 times.
Because he was
party.
Baseboards were dirty.
They were horrible. But I will tell you this: I had a pool hall in Archdale that got knocked down. It was a pool hall. I hired him to do karaoke, and he started doing a good job. But then he would be like, it's 10 o'clock. He was supposed to be at 10 o'clock. He's not there.
You know why?
And then I have cameras. I'm like, Hugs, are you there? He's like, yep, I'm here. Well, yeah, he's here in the parking lot.
Say it,
bringing
Jared.
his, what?
Yeah.
Well, he had felt like he got on your good side, and then the real Hugs came out, which is
there
not.
It is.
I love Hugs, but
it wasn't sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Yeah. So he did all this extra stuff at first. Please like me, please like me. And then he felt like, maybe Jason likes me now. I can show up late.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Matt.
I knew it. I knew it was
Matt,
coming.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Matt, when he was new. You want to go to lunch? Yes.
Yes.
You want to come watch football at my house? Yes. You want to do X, Y, and Z? Yes. I know you have a kid now, but we all do. And now it's like, He like mutes us on the group text. He says yes to lunch 1 out of every 10 times.
Yeah.
Check.
And it's like because I think he feels more secure.
Sure.
He's not denying it.
No,
I'm not.
He's admitted
it.
to it before.
There's 100. Before I was hired on as a full-time employee here, if someone here asked me to do anything, I said yes. It didn't matter what it was.
I think we've all been there.
I helped Jason move.
Yep.
I packed him up and helped him move.
You
Great.
didn't want to.
You did
those
pay,
cash.
and I that's why I said yes. I was also trying to pay for a wedding at the time. I needed all the extra cash I could get.
Yeah, it wasn't
So-
the goodness of his heart.
But I had another. I had at the time. I had another full-time job that I was working while I was here part-time. That was being very flexible with me, and I would tell them like, "Hey, they've asked me to go do this. I'm going to say yes because my goal is to get on full-time here." And then once I got hired, I was like, I can finally say no to something
yes.
at some point.
Yes, we've all felt that, I
But
think.
Matt,
But
I
also, in
always say yes to
fairness,
lunch
with
if
the,
I-
with the
Well,
lunch
yeah.
thing too, sometimes I find out when y'all are walking out the door
That's true.
Because
That
you're
is
not
true.
in
because I'm not in the same room.
But,
Yeah.
but Matt, I will tell you this, and back in the day, it sounds a little bit now, but years ago, I remember I paid you $13 an hour cash.
You did.
13.
Yeah, back then
Back
was
in the
good.
day.
But why 13?
I don't know.
That
Probably the
seems
going
odd.
rate.
Yeah.
He probably did some deep dive research. This is the
National
lowest
average.
amount that someone won't be offended by.
But let me tell you though, I thought
13.
I think I heard Matt said he wanted extra cash, so I'm like, okay, well if you want some extra cash, then maybe I'll ask Matt for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said thank you, and I appreciate it because all that went to my wedding,
Sure.
Okay.
which is what I was saving for.
But would he have done that out of the goodness of his heart? If
No.
he wasn't. No, he wouldn't. Mm-mm.
No, but he was a baseball coach with me though.
Yeah.
'Cause he's trying
and
to get
that
on the
I
good
did for
side.
free. That I did for free.
And
Yeah.
probably would not do that now.
He'd probably say no for sure.
Yeah, because he feels more
Right?
secure.
Now it's
Wouldn't
different.
you?
He has his own son.
Yeah,
that
that's
he's a
the.
base-
I'm coaching my own son's
That's
team
Right
now,
now,
and
it's
that's
even
exhausting.
crazier than he didn't have any
didn't
kids.
have
That's
kids.
also true.
Yeah.
He's coaching other people's kids. He has no kids. He's not a coach.
We desperately needed a coach.
And it wasn't like a high school thing or a middle. He was coaching like Little League.
Yeah, I don't
True.
know how I talked him into that, but
Usually only coaching
don't
Little
know.
League are somebody's parents.
Yeah.
That was funny because I would be doing things with friends and family. And I'm like, I have to go. Where are you going? I'm going to coach Little League. They're like, who's Little League?
it
Not
was
your kids.
Pony, not Little League. Little League. They still
Whatever.
stole the
I want to
bases. and
coach
league.
Pony League.
That's great.
All right, real quick, the final
yeah.
type of woman that repels a guy without you even knowing it, it is the one waiting in the background. There are certain women who think that if I just wait long enough, he's going to notice me. But the fact of the matter is, and this is according to a psychologist, curiosity breeds intimacy. So if he has not noticed you, he isn't thinking about you as a potential girlfriend.
Yeah, and I just saw something that kind of goes along with this real quick.
Yeah.
Is that because I think it's a relationship expert on TikTok or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But and because men were saying, I don't know if she's into me. I don't know. And it's like women will, if they're into a guy, they'll do whatever to spend time with them.
They will.
So if and you ask them out, and they're always like, I don't know, or maybe next time. If they like you, they're going to say yes.
They're gonna say yes.
And it doesn't matter what they have going on, they're going to say yes. So the thing was, stop wasting your time with people who are basically kind of giving you an answer without giving you an answer.
Yes, because
That
they
goes
are
for men.
giving.
That goes for men and women.
Yes.
But he was specifically saying women who are into a guy, really into a guy, they're not going to play the game as far as like, oh, I can't hang out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that we've said that, what the defining moment or the defining part in your relationship where you're like, oh, this is really for the good. It was that I knew how he felt
Right.
at every turn. He wanted to see me. He
But
made
that
it
was
happen.
that was odd for you too.
But that's why I'm saying it was different because
Yeah.
for even the guys that I'd be dating, it's
Sorry,
true.
but it's true. It was
It's true
odd.
for everybody.
It is true.
But there's,
It's true for everyone.
I hate to say this, and I told you you're cute, high cheekbones.
Shut up. Just get to
Okay.
it.
But-
Go ahead. Rip off the Band-Aid. What?
No, but if there's a smoking hot blonde with big boobs that's ridiculously hot, she's annoyed half the times with so many guys that want to beg to hang out with her. So for her, sometimes it's the one guy that doesn't show interest. On your case, you had guys that was treating you wrong, disappeared, pretended they killed themselves, all this stuff.
Well, I just thought maybe he had.
and turned
yes.
gay, whatever it is. But
All the
then when
above.
finally
All the above.
somebody actually wanted to be with you, it was different. So I don't think it's always the same.
Just to boost my own self-esteem here, okay? There were plenty of guys who wanted, and I didn't want.
When?
So
2 o'clock in the morning
the
at the
ones
bar?
that no,
I know
Okay.
one.
I was
know
never
one.
last man standing. By the way,
I know-
ever.
Okay,
Is that
you
a
go
good thing, or like were you passed
She went home
out?
with the
No, I was
first guy she
never-
met. No.
No.
Yeah, I
There
know. I
were.
know one guy for sure that was
Yeah.
really into you.
There were several.
Who?
So there.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
She's been married for how long now?
I think this guy's married.
Oh my
now.
God, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's true. So I just knew that it was different.
Different when
you make it happen. It's not the runaround. It's not, well, I might be able to. No, it was like, I have 5 minutes in between whatever it is I'm doing. I'm stopping by or whatever. And it feels different.
Yeah.
It is different.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
that's how you know.
I mean, for you, but
can I ask one last thing?
It's a very good start.
We're not to digress at all, but let me just ask you. You were talking about the manipulation thing and the things are differently. I do think you take somebody that's been married for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The things that they do together for after being 20 years would be totally different if they just started a relationship and we're all excited and new. So it's the newness, and you're so excited, and you would stop by after 5 minutes and bring him lunch and do this because you're so excited and so in love. Is that manipulation? Because that doesn't happen necessarily after 20 years all the time, the same way it would happen at the beginning of a relationship.
I think it's all about the intent. Like because the honeymoon period, they say it's a physical change where you feel excited and then it falls off.
Is that manipulation?
No, because the intent behind it is like you actually do feel excited. You're not like, I'm going to pretend to be excited or I'm going to go show up because if I
but the
don't,
girl really does want okay.
I think it's intent. You know inside if you're really excited or not.
Intent. Yeah, I'm big on intent for sure.
But it does change. Things do change. And, anyway. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, ladies, shape up is what we're saying. Make it easy for us.
Number 5 on the list, don't wear flats. Number 6 on the list, if you have red hair, you might want to dye it.
All righty.
Number 7 on the list.
Will do. Thank you.
I'm kidding.
You might want to dye it.
We are done.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we getting the full story when it comes to the destruction and despair left behind from Hurricane Helene?
Man.
Especially in regards to Western North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Katie's found some compelling audio. Local residents and rescuers, many private rescuers, are saying, no, we're not
getting the full story. And even without saying too, I mean, I'm sure everybody listening has somebody that they know in Western North Carolina who has either called you if they've been able to have power or cell service or texted and let you know things are really bad.
Worse
really
than what we're
bad
even
here.
being told. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's next. We'll get into that. Jared and Katie in the morning.
All right, well, so far, so good. Any updates? 800-682-1075. Your 1075 KZL forecast today, partly cloudy with a high of 79. And then your weekend forecast, beautiful, partly sunny throughout the weekend, highs in the very low 80s. We're starting your morning off with sunny skies, 65 degrees now. Do want to remind you that this coming Monday, it is our very first of 2 events, our Roll-In Relief. We are teaming up with Volvo Mack Trucks, and we are going to be out in the Target parking lot off of New Garden Road in Greensboro starting Monday morning from 10 a.m. until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock
right,
at
Matt?
night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he says yes.
8
He's
o'clock
nodding.
at night, where we are collecting supplies and goods. We would love to have you come out and donate supplies and goods. If you're not able to donate, we would love to have you out there to volunteer, help load the trucks. And then that's on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to be at the Costco parking lot in Winston-Salem off of Haynes Mall Boulevard. Same time, 10 a.m. till around 8 o'clock at night. Same deal, collecting goods. Go to 1075kzl.com to see a complete list of updated goods that we'll be collecting. 1075kzl.com.
Jared and Katie in the morning, 107.5 KZL.
We are a week out from the very first moment that Hurricane Helene made landfall and made her way up into Western North Carolina. I mean, through Florida, through Georgia, through now into Western North Carolina. Are we getting the full story when it comes to the destruction and despair left behind? And there are local rescuers and local residents who are saying, we're not. There is one woman who says that she is outraged living in the area that is considered not easy to get to.
We have no power. We have no running water, but I'm just so pissed off that I've got to make this clear. We got a notification from TEMA. I'm guessing that's FEMA for Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's supposed to be the disaster relief people. But they were like, do not donate your time. We don't want you to donate time unless we ask for you. And we don't want you to donate stuff to other people. You need to just donate money and stuff to us and get your instructions from us and listen to us. What? And then they said yesterday, we don't go into areas that the roads are not easily accessible. What? You are the disaster relief people. Like, that is your job, to go into the areas that are hit by disaster and provide relief. not to just go to the easy area and sit and wait for the people that are in the disaster area to be able to come to you.
I feel her. I mean, I can totally. I feel for her, and I think that this is a disaster that is so unprecedented that they are trying, but it's so overwhelming and so bad that we still have not processed how bad this is.
Right.
And by the way, I don't know what they're saying, but I just know from all over the place they are accepting donations and trucks and everything else, and they desperately need it. I do know some of the towns, and she might be in one of them, outside of Asheville, outside of Boone, the smaller little towns that we really don't know. They're even the worst.
Oh, decimated.
Well, she's in Tennessee.
She is in Tennessee,
and that's probably part of the problem is we don't even have the means or resources. I mean, people are pouring in from all over the volunteer. I know the guy that I'm partners with opening up the bar. He actually organized a group of people.
You see it
of
everywhere.
Heavy equipment
Yes.
that went down there cutting, and the police and the fire and they're asking for their help. So it's a devastating situation. It's way worse than we know it is, and it must feel helpless and scary if you're in one of these areas.
Absolutely. And Jason, you and I do not agree all the time. However, I agree with you 100%. I mean, totally. And I think that it's one of those situations where it hasn't happened in these areas. We had no idea.
Yeah.
And then to have to put together a plan, I think that it's very easy for a lot of people to sit back and say, no one's helping. But that's not at all what I'm seeing. It's not.
It's outpouring.
It's an outpouring.
I don't think private citizens aren't helping. I think some of the complaint is that the government's response has been slow. That's because they're like, why are these mostly private helicopters? And the everyday citizen is helping big time right away.
It has been
And so
beautiful to see.
I think that's been the complaint is like the people that you would rely on government who's supposed to help and protect their people. That's their number one job. Some complaint is everyday citizens are doing it. Where is the other help? And I'm not saying they're not, but that's been the complaint. That's been slower. And that's what, in like FEMA, their job is disaster relief. They're supposed to make plans for every possible thing.
And they are. And we talked to my friend Lane, who lives and works in Boone for the past 25 years. And she, when we spoke earlier in the week, said that on day 2, when she was able to get into town, FEMA called immediately and said, we're coming. I mean, we just received a message from her not so long ago saying that trucks are rolling in. They're getting there. They're getting there. It's like, I think it's very easy for people to sit back and criticize.
But these are people that are actually living through
They're
it.
desperate.
They're
desperate.
They're desperate.
I
It's
understand.
the people on social media who are sitting back, who are not living through some of it.
I also don't disagree with people doing that. I mean, of course, there's a lot of misinformation all the time. But if let's say there is a major logistical problem just in general with response to disasters in our country, I think people should raise awareness so it can improve in the future.
Sure. I agree with that.
But
I
yes,
do.
there's also people like, they ain't doing that. Right. We don't know all the ins and outs.
We
but
also had an issue years ago with Hurricane Katrina, where a lot of people died, and it was a poor response.
The response was slow.
Yeah, and again, some of these things are, if it hasn't happened, it's hard to see. I do know that FEMA and there's been a lot of help from the government supposedly coming. A lot of people are posting like, I guess they did some kind of thing where you can get $750 if you apply. And I get that's nothing for what they need. I think this is just an initial emergency because they're like, we spent like $50 billion in Ukraine helping them, and all we can get is $750. That might just be the start of it. I know FEMA, you can apply. Like if you don't have flood insurance, it's such a disaster that can help with your house if you don't have to cover the cost of rebuilding and stuff like that. I think this is just the initial start of it. But I feel for her because she is probably hopeless, scared, and everything else and trapped.
Yes.
Which makes me even more terrified to live in that rurally without sneakers on.
Without the sneakers.
Because you got to always be ready to run.
Yes,
you got to be ready.
Also, these people did not know that they were in an area that was going to do this.
Right.
Correct.
You know, so it's very easy to say, well, I wouldn't live there. Well, nobody knew that these floods were going to take out. Just nobody knew.
Nobody knew, and I don't like the people that. And I think we've all got messages from people, and their opinion is fine. They want to think that They're like, well, they knew this was going to happen.
No, they
They were
didn't.
warned. No one
they
thought
didn't.
that this once in a century flooding in the mountains.
I've
Nobody.
gotten the same messages that says, because I said something the other day, you were wrong, they were warned. No, they were never warned that houses would be floating down the river because it's never happened before. They were never warned about mountains like this flooding because they declared this the worst natural disaster ever in North Carolina history. When that happens, yes, there's warnings that you're going to get heavy rains and there's flooding like we always get. But I don't think there was any mandatory evacuation way ahead of time because they didn't know. And I'm not blaming the people, the warning people. Who are the warning people? Us, I guess. But because we wouldn't even know. We just wouldn't know. We're not experts in it.
I think there was some relief when it was like, oh, by the time Helene came to the North Carolina in the South, Georgia, but especially North Carolina, that it was a tropical storm. It had been downgraded. Like, oh, thank goodness, no high winds and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
No one thought it'd be like this. But I guess when it's an emergency response, the most important is the first couple days.
And every moment that you are floating on a mattress with your dog in your home
desperate.
is a desperate moment, and it feels like an eternity. And I can't imagine.
Did you see the photo? This is so sad. The photo of it was just so flooded, and there's a family, a man, a woman, and their child on top of a roof, and they're looking, and they see this other house floating down the water, and I don't know how they got the photo, but apparently that family, their house collapsed, and they all drowned, waiting for help.
Well, we have.
I think that was
our friend Legine, Dr. Legine.
Was she called in?
I thought that was
the
Asheville.
family.
It was Asheville, but maybe it's a different story.
okay,
I think,
okay.
Unfortunately, there are so many awful stories like that.
Terrible.
But a 7-year-old, the mother was clutching her 7-year-old. This is our friend's friend. And the floodwaters came, and she lost
that's a different
hold
story.
of her
That's
son.
horrible.
Well, and
her parents
and her
died.
parents.
Yeah.
So it was 4 people died. 4 people were involved, and 1 survived.
And she was the woman who survived was the one who was stuck in some tree branches for a couple hours until she was able to be rescued. It's horrifying.
We actually, there's a few people I know that have gone to help or actually work there, and every time you talk, they send a message to talk to you. It's almost like you can't explain the devastation. It's like we see it, and we think it's the worst I've ever seen, but it's that much worse.
Do you know what was really sobering was a photo, and I can share it with you, that I just saw. It was just mass destruction and the mud, and there's not even a road. And when you look at the picture, you think this is a horrible situation. And then you realize there are human beings standing. That's how small they are amongst the size of the destruction.
Yeah.
And you realize, how do you even start?
I know.
How do you even start to clear and rebuild?
I don't know.
I mean, it was so sobering to see it. Because a picture, you're like, oh, okay, it's just some mud. No, and then you realize human beings standing there.
Let me ask you,
tiny.
How long do you think it's going to take to? Because
Years.
Here's another
think.
problem too, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but Asheville area and even Boone, they depend on tourism.
Right.
That has been completely wiped out. They depend on this for their jobs and their community and their economy, and I don't understand. It's going to be years before that is even able to happen again. I mean, I'm thinking in the future when they start getting this cleaned out, we need to do some kind of promotion to promote and help these guys out and go visit this area when we can.
Just not now, because
not now.
governors
There's nothing there.
governors are saying do not come here. They said leaves are getting ready to
they
peak,
are
and
welcome,
they're like, don't.
but they are welcoming the emergency relief
Yes, of
trucks.
course.
What's Hendersonville,
Waynesville, Burnsville, Swannanoa. I mean, all the surrounding areas. And that goes for Boone too, but they're saying do not come. And of course there's outrage on social. Well, I can go. I'm going to be there. They need our money now than ever. And even locals are saying, we don't have anything to give you. We don't even have a home. We don't have a business. We have nothing. Come much later when everything,
But it does affect even, destruction. But I think it was on one of the national news channels, and they were talking about how for some people, they make all their money in the fall with, tourism and the Airbnbs and all that stuff. So it just has a tremendous impact.
If there's one place that, and for government spending, and we do a lot of international spending on other countries and all this, billions and billions. This is the time. This is the time that I'm for a lot of government spending to take care of these people that have faced the worst possible situation of their lives.
Yeah.
And hey, here's the other scariest part. the other scariest part is in the future, you're going to have some people now that will never, if they were thinking about getting a home there, building a home there, now they're going to be terrified to ever get a home there. And what's to say this can't happen again?
Right.
I know it hasn't happened in ever, but it's possible. Who knows? Are the patterns of the environment changing where this is now going to be a more common thing?
I think they're going to, when they rebuild, they'll have to rebuild differently. For sure.
It's very difficult. You're talking about a mountain where water drains down and crashes.
Where landslides happen, mudslides happen. Those are things that you were scared of before.
Right.
But now it's a whole different situation.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you could learn a lot from different communities like in Florida and stuff that have faced hurricanes that have wiped out communities and they somehow rebuild. And just, there's probably places to learn from.
Yeah.
All those different because of the flooding.
Yeah. It's just awful. It's just awful. And I don't know. It really makes you feel for people like, the woman in Tennessee, because every moment is terrifying. And you want their voices to be heard, but I think that we have also seen so much good come out of it.
Yeah.
People
are coming together, and it happens a lot. I mean, the biggest time I ever remember the country coming together was September 11th.
Yes.
Right.
Everybody had their flags, and it was the most united I've ever seen people. And I think what happens is we get kind of desensitized, and then we get used to the way our life is not as it's hard, don't get me wrong, but not as hard as other places and other countries, and we get desensitized, and then something happens, and it reminds us, oh, you know what, we are lucky not to have to go through what the Western North Carolina is doing, and it puts different things in a different perspective. Kind of like when I used to see these Schindler's List movie, I'm like, oh, I come out of that for a whole new joy of life that I didn't have to go through that.
Do you not think, though, that it has been such a beautiful response that it really does remind you most people are great.
Most people are good.
Most people are really good people.
Yeah. People just get on the daily grind and we forget the humanity and we're on social media and your things are good for the most part in a country when we're making up things to complain about.
Right.
And then when bad things do happen, you see people's real character, and the real character is very uplifting and promising.
Even people who don't, I would say especially people who don't have much to give are the ones who are giving the most.
So, yeah, it's amazing. So the human spirit is alive and well in the face of some of the worst atrocities and then natural disasters and all the above. So, all right, we'll keep you updated. Obviously, there will be a lot to learn from it, and, we're supposed to have a pilot on today, but they're busy doing rescue missions, and they said their service we were trying to test it out, and it just wasn't working. But private helicopter guy he's going down, he's just doing rescue missions at his own cost.
Yeah,
$2,500 a day just to get as many people saved and into safer places as possible, and deliver goods as well, which I think is amazing.
Wonderful. Well, this isn't
not. If you have young kids in the car, I'll tell you right now, you need to turn down the radio.
I have not felt. Well, that's not true. I feel distraught most days. The latest celebrity who has been accused of sexual assault is rocking the country music world. I'm going to tell you who it is and share the awful allegations coming up. We're not all bad news.
No.
I mean, we're not. We were uplifting there for a minute.
Yeah, we had women that you should avoid. We played pop quiz earlier. That was fun.
All right. Any traffic updates? 800-682-1075. Your 1075 KZL forecast today, partly cloudy with a high of 79. Starting your morning off with clear skies, 65 degrees right now. And speaking of Hurricane Helene and the destruction left in her path, you can help. If you have you want to donate some goods, you can buy some goods to donate. You can be there to help volunteer. We are going to be we're teaming up with Volvo Mack Trucks. We're going to be at the Target on New Garden Road in Greensboro starting Monday morning at 10 a.m. for you to help us load the big truck that's going to be parked right out front of the Target. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be in Winston-Salem outside of the Costco, and you can help us donate goods and then also load the truck there as well, starting 10 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday, going all the way until 8 o'clock at night. For all the info, go to 1075kzl.com.
Jared and Katie in the morning, 1075 KZL.
The latest celebrity accused of sexual assault is rocking the country music world. And Jared, you're right. The pop culture in general, world in general.
He's crossover big time.
Did you put a warning?
If you have young kids in the car, you want to turn down the radio. 3, 2, 1.
Garth Brooks.
Shocking.
I couldn't
Shocking.
breathe when I saw this. I literally couldn't breathe because I don't know. Matt, I know you are a huge Garth Brooks fan. We do share that. We
Big
have
time. I've seen him like 7 times in concert.
Love of Garth, share love of Garth Brooks. Everybody loves him. But I don't know why, but for some reason, he's on a pedestal for me. I don't know why.
One of the greatest entertainers of all time.
And I know that he was married and divorced. I don't know if there was cheating with Trisha Yearwood. And did he have an affair with Trisha Yearwood and that ended his marriage?
I feel like he did, and I feel like he's always gotten just that pass.
The pass,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, in a way, and that was 20 years ago. They've been married for 20 years, Garth and Trisha. He has 3 children, 3 females, three girls, just girls. I don't know why. This just shook me. And there is a woman who is now accusing him of sexual assault and sexual battery. It's a hair and makeup artist who worked for him and for Trisha Yearwood.
I thought I heard it was like straight up rape.
Yes, and the details are graphic. They're allegations.
Right.
They are allegations. Nothing has been proven. Garth Brooks is even responding, saying that he's calling the accusations a shakedown for millions of dollars. He says, for the last 2 months, I have been hassled to no end with threats, lies, and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for many millions of dollars. It's been like having a loaded gun waved in my face. This woman who worked for both Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood was their hair and makeup artist, and allegedly she's claiming that there were numerous instances of sexual assault during the course of her employment. She said that Garth Brooks allegedly raped her while on a work trip to Los Angeles, and that Trisha Yearwood was not with them, and that allegedly that Garth Brooks only booked 1 hotel room. He brought her along to do hair and makeup for the performances, and that he only booked 1 hotel room. And when she asked him to get a separate one, he said no. And then he apparently came out of the bathroom completely naked and aroused, and then forced her to do things apparently like holding her upside down by her ankles. And then just horrific allegations.
Yeah, and I hate to we need to wait to see what happens, but if this is true, this is one of the more shocking, because it's not like a P. Diddy thing where there's like 170 accusers. It's one, and there might be more.
There could be.
This could be the beginning, but it's kind of like when the Cosby thing first happened. It's like, wait, America's dad is the clean-cut image and rape?
It's just
not,
hard
affair is bad enough, but a rape?
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Cow.
Well, I think it is too, and I know this. This is such the problem, and I got to be careful here and walk a delicate line, or I'll get a lot of hate mail. Because the problem is you have things that really do happen, and then you have faults and allegations, and we've seen it, and we clearly have seen it ruin people's lives, and even if it never truly ever gets proven, you still always have it in the back of your mind. So you always will have a little bit of skepticism towards Garth Brooks now, regardless. And so, but the problem is, one, if this is true, she needs to be believed and heard. At the same time, we also have seen false allegations ruin people's lives. It's such a messy situation. But if she is making these allegations, I think, yes, he is innocent until proven guilty, but we need to take the allegations seriously and investigate.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. And there's always, it's never black and white, and there's always, what if, I agree with everything you were saying, for sure. I just wonder, were they having an affair, and then she wanted to tell Trisha about it. I don't. There's so many
a lot of things.
There could be a lot of things.
Maybe he is a monster. I don't know.
Could be. Well, it's like kind of like the Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was accused, R.I.P., of rape, but then his side was, well, I had an affair on my wife. So then it's like, well, which is it? So he's admitting that, yes, I did have sex with this woman, but it was consensual. Ben Roethlisberger, the same, was accused of rape 2 different times, and was never found guilty or anything. But he admitted to, like, no, I had sex with this person.
Well, I'm sure there's a point though, Jared, that let's say who knows what they were saying to these girls, and let's say Kobe Bryant was like, yeah, I'm going to leave my wife, blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden he doesn't. Is this retaliation, Or is it true? Do you see?
That's what's so hard.
I know it's so hard.
And I remember when Kobe died. I mean, it's like, it's a shocking death with the helicopter crash and all that, and it was sad. And it seemed like his wife had forgiven for cheating and all this different things, and he seemed like a good dad and everything. But then part of the story is he was accused of rape. That will never leave, whether it happened or not.
Yeah,
never.
Even
and
if you're
let me
100%
ask you,
innocent.
Yeah.
Is this something that happened a long time ago, or this just happened?
The Jane Doe is claiming that she was employed, that the alleged incidents took place in 2019, said that she was employed for a few years with them.
And did she say why she waited so long? And I understand there is a lot of people don't come out right away because they're so distraught and whatnot.
And the shame, if he won't believe you, he's very powerful. Yeah, all
but
that.
I'm wondering, it would be interesting to know, like, was she still having an affair with him after that, or was there no affair? Because if there was proof of an affair, that it was even after that, then I would question it even more and be skeptical because, well, why would you go back and have an affair with him when you already don't work with him anymore? Or was she so upset and so distraught and mental anguish that this is now only the time she could come out with it?
I don't have that information.
And I think, is it Cassidy with P. Diddy?
Cassie.
I want to say Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassie.
Where I believe she alleges it happened multiple times, but then you're in this weird relationship power dynamic where you're like questioning your own reality, and then you kind of stay with the person, hoping it's going to get better, and they keep doing it. It's hard to fathom, but you hear this story get repeated over and over because if you rape somebody, you're taking something away from them they can't get back.
Right.
And that's the ultimate, outside of murder, it's one of the more heinous and evil things you could do.
Yeah, and also I think you, and kind of piggybacking on what you're saying, is that you hope it doesn't happen again.
Right.
And then when it does,
I wonder if the P. Diddy stuff in the news, I'm curious if that made her feel more likely to come forward.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's possible.
Because now you have 120 people coming forward now through P. Diddy. That's what they did.
Oh, you mean this woman with Garth Brooks?
The woman with Garth Brooks. I'm sorry, I didn't explain that.
I could see that.
She's seeing it in the news, and maybe she approached him first like, hey, this is coming out or whatever, and then you feel more emboldened in a good way. If it's true, that I would say this is the time to do it because you have another powerful person, and it sounds like more powerful people are going to be exposed. Now's the time to do it if you were scared to come forward before.
Yeah.
And right now is definitely, no matter what, lose-lose terrible situation. Because if he did do it, that's just another huge letdown of somebody a lot of people looked up to, again, of being, like you said, a monster.
That he's capable of ruining somebody's life.
Yes.
Right.
If he didn't do it, then we're always going to have it in the back of our minds, and that's a horrible accusation to do to somebody.
And Matt, you're right. I mean, with Garth Brooks, you do, for some reason, maybe it's because they sing together and they do appear in love, Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks, but he does get a pass.
Yeah, for being cheated.
That he cheated.
Yeah.
Just because you cheat does not mean you rape.
No.
You got
I'm
a pass,
not. Yeah.
like PR-wise, you got a pass for like destroying his marriage.
That people love. Their love.
Nobody ever holds that against him.
Right.
Or Trisha.
No.
Because they both cheated, right? They both were married
I
to
thought
other people.
I thought Trish did some stuff too. I thought she was a homewrecker, no?
Well, I think that's the idea, is that he cheated on his wife with Trisha and then left her and then married Trisha.
Oh, I see.
And they've been together.
Neither of them get any negative publicity for that.
Because they just sing so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, Us Weekly.
Yeah.
Is it Us Weekly or US Weekly?
Us
Regardless.
Weekly.
Either.
And if you have young kids in the car, turn it down.
Continue to keep it down.
Garth Brooks wanted a threesome with Trisha Yearwood. Accuser claims that they wanted a threesome and all that other stuff. But
it gets real graphic.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, I sent you a screenshot of something yesterday.
No, I read some of it, and I was like, ooh, oh my.
Yeah.
Well.
It's graphic.
Well, this is the thing, too. Okay, this is maybe a little bit of a side note, but it's related. For years, you've heard that Hollywood is depraved. The music industry is depraved. If you knew what was going on, these celebrities and these pedophile rings and all stuff, and people are like, conspiracy theory, not true. I mean, some are outrageous, like they're eating babies, but at this point, I don't know.
Illuminati.
No, you're right, but you know what I mean? And now, with the whole P. Diddy thing, it's like, okay, there was a sizable part of the entertainment industry that was engaged in this illegal activity or just didn't care. And so it's just funny. I guess these things pop up and some things aren't true. But then for years, like, oh, if you say that, you're just crazy.
Yeah.
And now we're thinking, Man.
Maybe not so crazy. And then I don't know if you all have seen this. The latest rumor is that Mila Kunis has moved out of the home that she shared with her husband, Ashton Kutcher.
What?
I've heard this because of a P. Diddy thing.
Ashton Kutcher has spent many much hours of his life partying with Diddy. And some of the things that are coming out, yeah.
If this is the case, then I'm going to be, I don't even trust a single soul anymore because Ashton Kutcher, his whole entire drive has been stopping child trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to court about these things. And then he's going to be involved with it?
That's just a rumor.
I know, but
it's
that
just a
would
rumor,
be
but
messed up.
He has been on record in videos and posts and interviews hanging out at Diddy parties a lot.
A lot.
But that doesn't mean he's at the freak-offs.
No, it doesn't. But there
Because
are certain,
again-
like he was doing Hot Ones.
You're more likely to be in a freak off.
And when he was on Hot Ones, the wing eating show, we love so much. He at one point has hot wings in his mouth and he says, I can't talk about most of the things that I've seen at Diddy's parties.
Right. I mean,
damn.
It's kind of like the Epstein. Sorry, Jason. Like the Epstein flight logs. So like, well, or like let's say Trump met him once. Okay, maybe not. Maybe bad. Maybe good. Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not good at all. But or Bill Gates. But then you start seeing like Bill Gates was there 10 times or Bill Clinton was there 30 times.
Yeah.
You're on the island. You're like, why 30 times?
You didn't see anything?
Yeah. You're more likely to be involved. Not that you are. You're more likely to.
But how many times did we know these freak off happened? Was it like every weekend or was it like once a year?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because my thought is P. Diddy obviously has a lot of parties.
Mm-hmm.
He just has a lot of parties that aren't freak offs necessarily because, I'm not going to say why.
Because you were there.
Yeah.
See, I just said not to say that.
You've said it
I was
7
not
times.
at a disclaimer. I was not at a freak off.
Got it.
But he does have lots of parties. Lots of parties. He's always
Sure.
partying. So when somebody parties all the time, and like for instance, like at my house, if I have cookouts all the time, I'm always like, yeah, we're always doing something, cookouts, this. It sounds like party. And then all of a sudden, if that happens, now anybody there is like, yeah, I partied all the time at the cookouts, but I had no idea that was going on. So there's got to be some of that.
I'm sure there's some of
I'm
that.
probably the majority of the people that have been to the parties
okay. Well, it
are
didn't
not
sound
involved.
like you were.
No, I'm saying the more you're there, you're going to have a higher level of suspicion.
Yeah.
If you've been to 50 P. Diddy parties, you've been to 2, you're going to be more likely to see maybe more things, even if you didn't engage. That's what I'm saying.
Or hear more things because people love to talk.
Right.
Well, and you got to believe it too, because what
I've heard a lot of secrets about Jason and his family being at his cookouts, but I don't. I'm just kidding.
You only had one bottle of baby oil, which was disappointing. I'll say that. Only one. We all had to share. It got a little awkward.
I was just thinking to myself, baby oil, no offense, but that stuff gets on the ground. It's impossible to clean.
The stains.
It just doesn't.
How do you get it on furniture?
Well, they said they'd bring change of sheets. They'd have a bunch of sheets
But it's
and
more
stuff.
than sheets. It's just like the tile. The tile of trying to clean that up.
Well,
they were not cleaning it.
You hear the rumor, though, is that they're saying possibly that they infuse the baby oil with GHP?
Really? THC?
THC? I don't know. It's made letters.
GHP is our local Fox affiliate.
Yeah. And so, like,
for 1 second, I thought you were talking about the pregnancy hormone.
Maybe I was. So when you put GHP on, you want to watch Cindy Farmer and
you might be pregnant, but
Brad
we don't
Jones.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. They infused it with something that's a drug that would make you a little more tired and loose.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a rumor.
I don't put anything past any of it anymore. I really don't.
Anytime I get that GHP injection, I'm just watching the local news nonstop. Bob Buckley, where are you, Bob?
Your breasts are tender.
They're like, why are you involved in this? You get the pregnancy and the...
Am I lactating? That is
What is
weird.
this?
Is that GHP? Is that what that is?
HCG.
My shirt wet.
HCG.
Yeah. HC something. Yeah.
Oh. I should probably just stop talking at this point.
All right.
All right, but yeah, that's I think unless something else happens, unless P. Diddy dies or gets killed, which I still think is highly probable because there's so many powerful people. I think in the next 6 months, it's going to get numb to like, oh, another huge powerful person.
I know.
Well, if that all happens, we're not going to be able to really watch movies and listen to any music anymore because all of our favorite celebrities and stars could be involved.
They're going to be in jail.
Right.
And how are you going to sit there and listen to it? Although it seems like we moved past that because of the allegations with Michael Jackson and Chris Brown.
Right, yeah.
You compartmentalize and say, I don't approve of that, but I like this song. I don't know. It's a tough thing to do. All right. There'll be much more of that in the future.
It's time to announce another name in the 107.5 KZL 9 to 5 payroll, funded by Aspire Heating and Cooling.
The next person with a chance to be on the payroll is April White from Stokesdale. What a great place to live.
And she doesn't need to be on the payroll.
April White from Stokesdale.
It's a nice area. Just kidding.
Well, they have some areas.
I'm kidding.
I can point out some neighborhoods. April White from Stokesdale, 800-682-1075. You have 10 minutes starting right now. If you call in, we'll put you on the payroll starting at $50. It goes up from there. Next chance, 2 o'clock with Josie. Then 5 o'clock with Jason Goodman. All the info for the contest, 1075kzl.com. All right. Should Katie take it as a bad sign that she literally cannot make it to confession at her church?
Literally cannot make it there.
Like your cars have a problem or your mind has a problem?
Well, it's not me. I'll just say that.
Okay.
She's tried, but something is stopping you every
time.
Single time. She's like, I'm going to confession today, and something happens.
Yep.
Is it a bad sign, and what is going on? That's next. Jared and Katie in the morning. Jared and Katie in the morning, 107.5 KZL.
I'm really starting to take it as, I don't know, some sort of sign from, I guess, God.
Oh, boy.
I've been trying to go to confession, and I literally can't make it there.
And you really need to go.
I know.
There's a lot.
I know. I've missed Mass. I've actively thought about murdering my coworkers. I mean, there's a lot I have to repent for.
My God.
Yeah.
Is part of your repentance process changing, too? Like, just to not feel that way anymore?
I mean, we're not perfect.
It's a process.
It's a
I
process.
get it. Trust
it's
me.
not going to just
I make the same
overnight.
mistakes over and over and over again.
And confession in your religion is Catholic.
I'm Catholic, yes.
That's where they do those things. And you're supposed to admit the bad things you did?
Yeah, so I go to confession to, speak with the priest. He doesn't, we go into a confessional, and so he doesn't see, I mean, he can tell that I'm there.
Can you tell him anything?
Anything.
And is it
There's
like
no judgment,
a law
no.
that they can't tell anybody else?
Yes,
Actually,
that is the oath that they take.
So
And,
you can say if you murdered somebody?
I don't know how that works.
Jason, are you leaning Catholic?
Yeah. I don't know about murder.
No, Matt.
I didn't know.
But
Well,
maybe.
I'm just saying, do you want an example of a time you went to confessional after you tell your
Sure.
story?
Yeah,
you want to tell
yeah.
your story first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this would be an example, I think.
You go ahead.
Oh.
Yes.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 7 years,
Wow.
6 months, 28 days,
And this was, I think, 6 or 7 years ago. So maybe that's your thing.
and 9 hours since my last confession.
Oh, dear. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you see, Father, it's something that's really been weighing on my mind a lot lately. But the thing is everybody says I should be sorry for it, but I'm really not.
Okay, well, no judgment from me. You are safe to confess your sins. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Well, I guess I'm a little sorry about it. You see, I slept with somebody else's prom date during my senior prom when I was in high school.
Sacrilege.
What? Wait, sacrilege?
Forget what I said. That will be 40 Hail Marys for that kind of sin.
I didn't really think it was that big of a deal anyway.
Don't sass-mouth me, you hussy. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to confess, please continue.
Okay, well, there is something else I'd like to confess.
Go ahead, my child.
Well, Father, you see, my co-host, Jason Goodman, doesn't understand how hard it is to lose weight. He
Yes.
doesn't get it. And especially, it's been so hard ever since I had the baby, you know?
I can imagine. Go on.
Well, Jason always says that fat people should just quit eating and that I should just keep counting my Weight Watchers points. So, because I'm angry.
Again, this was like 7 years ago.
This is not aging well.
Well, you're
Nothing's changed.
Nothing is
Get it?
What is it? I think it's aged pretty well.
All right, go ahead.
It's like a fine wine.
To get back at him, I've been replacing the fiber that he puts in his coffee every morning with some animal-based lard powder that I purchased. Well, it said it wouldn't kill him, although secretly I wish it would.
What was that?
Nothing.
You can't wish death on another human being, no matter how annoying and obnoxious they are.
You can't? Even one who mispronounces words all the time and says that women are ovens?
Women are ovens?
Forget it. How many Hail Marys?
20.
Okay.
Anything else, my child?
Well, there is just this one more thing.
Go ahead.
Well, yesterday when I was grocery shopping, I went to that free bin of cookies that they put out for the kids, and I dumped the whole thing in my purse, and I walked away out of the store, and I didn't buy anything.
Even those sugar-free ones?
Yes.
Okay, you'll need to say just one Hail Mary for that sin, but it's wrong to steal from children.
I understand. Thank you, Father.
Let's give you an idea. Of
Aged perfectly.
Yeah.
Even off the air, Katie and Jason had this long discussion about fiber.
And Jason told me I don't know how fiber works and that I don't know that it would help my body.
I
And
said I didn't know how it works. I just said you don't realize that it actually helped you in the past.
Yeah.
That was like 7 years. Anyway, so you can't make it to
I
confessional.
can't, and I have been going a lot more frequently, because I do feel better once I do it.
You're teaching Sunday school now.
Yes, teaching Sunday school, which, probably after this, they're going to ask me not to. But the first time that I went, I pulled into the church parking lot, and there was a funeral in process.
You made it all the way to the church.
All the way to church, yeah.
And you're not supposed to go in when that happens?
Well, the priests are not available because they're, and plus also confession is not just anytime you feel like it. You have to go when it's at certain churches at certain times. And truth be told, I don't like to go to my home church to do that because
they'll recognize your voice.
And I don't,
especially your voice.
I don't want to do it. So
Katie.
I go to other
so they
churches.
don't know
You
who
leave
it
the
is.
state.
Right, they don't know. I would
You
if
leave
I
the state
could.
for these.
Yeah, if we were like right on the border, I totally would.
How do they not know?
How do they? Because you go. It's an anonymous process. I mean, you go in and you can. Some churches, and I have done face-to-face confessions, like especially around Christmas when they have 4 or 5 different priests and everybody's encouraged to go, which is always so awkward, But you go into a confessional and it's darker and there's a screen in there, and sometimes the priest is just facing in a way that they don't know it's you. Yeah,
Jason, you've seen a lot of mafia movies.
They
go
like
in,
they do.
they can't see them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess. I thought they could just look, but I never thought about it that way, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that was the first attempt. So I was like, okay, well, guess I'm not going to confession now because there was a funeral, right? So then I tried to go. There was an open confession between 5 and 6 o'clock at night, and I thought, great, I'll go to that one. Well, battle royale with my son Henry because I don't want to go to church. And I'm like, you just have to sit there. You don't have to do anything. So he's crying, screaming bloody murder, making his first Holy Communion this year. He's gonna have to do the first Holy first reconciliation himself this year. And so finally get there, pull in, walk all the way up to the door. Huge sign on the door. It says this day that the confessions had been canceled.
Where is the text alert?
I tried twice.
Yeah. I would just
twice.
What do you have to confess?
Agnostic at this point.
You want to do it here?
No, I kind of already did it.
A lot of anger.
I've missed mass. I have a lot of anger, and I've actively thought and planned out killing my coworkers.
Have you really actively thought out killing?
More than once.
Haven't we all?
No. I really haven't. No. Don't give me that look.
Like
Don't
you
judge
haven't,
me.
Jason. You've thought about it.
I feel like I gotta watch my back everywhere now.
Nowhere safe.
No, I missed mass. I missed mass, and I felt really bad about it.
You have to confess to that?
Well, it's not.
It's just things you're feeling bad about, right?
Or things that I want to get off my soul.
And every church is different. Like ours is you go to our bishop and it is face-to-face.
Mhm.
But it's like only for serious sins, like you held hands with somebody before you were married.
Sure.
Right.
Katie, I forgive you. You miss mass.
You
Who cares?
are not a priest. You are not.
Maybe a Judas priest. I don't even know who that is. I've just heard that name
Judas
before.
Priest is a rock artist.
Oh, okay.
Maxi Priest, also an artist.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it another go.
Okay.
I guess.
Get it off your heart.
Unless I
because-
should be thinking that this is a sign
No.
that they don't want me. I don't
maybe.
know.
That actually could be the case.
It could be, right?
Yeah, maybe you can text
I
it in.
tried really
text
hard.
in your thing from a burner phone.
I don't buy it.
What don't you buy?
I think the confession is set up. I hate to tell you this.
Oh, boy.
It makes the person feel better because they got it off their chest of something they shouldn't have done.
Yes.
It's not about God forgiving you.
Ooh, I wouldn't go down that road.
It is.
I wouldn't go down that road.
I believe the definition of seeking God's forgiveness.
Yeah, that's because you want to feel better about yourself.
You know, so interesting because I think I know Katie and I and probably Matt as well agree with this that people think God and science are at odds with each other. I think that's the opposite. I think they're congruent in many ways. But I think what's so fascinating in every major religion, confession and or repenting has always been a part of every major religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then every study shows talking things out, getting things off your chest, making plans to be a better person is so good for your mental
100%.
and emotional health and for you as a person. And that's been out there for thousands of years, not until recently.
Well, it's kind of manipulating then in a way.
No.
Because you feel better about it.
No, it's not about making me feel better.
And make changes.
Yes, it's about improving who I am as a human and improving my relationship with God. Not that I have to go there to feel better about myself. It's to feel better about life.
Yeah, it's not like you go and, you do the same. I mean, we all make the same mistakes more than once. But, like, you're actively going there to say, hey, I did this. I want to be better. And then you actively try to not do that again.
Well, you don't have to do that to go. You can just do that with you. Like, I've never been. This is the most in my life that I'm the most agnostic on the more to the atheist side ever in my life. Ever.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. A lot of times when tragedies happen and just things like that, I'm almost to the point where this is. But I respect what people, and there's always a chance and all that. But you can do that with yourself. You can try to make yourself better every day. You don't have to go and have a priest tell you, okay, to feel better because you told the priest. That's what. In my mind, I'm not saying I'm not that against what you believe.
Yeah.
That's how I think. That's all.
Well, I think I know that some of the most beautiful moments I've ever had in my life have happened when I've been out in nature, and the best feelings and thoughts and connections that I've had with God and the world have been not in a church.
Yes,
so
I agree with that.
I don't think that's the only place it happens is inside of a confessional. I don't believe that.
And as all of us is imperfect, especially Matt, church, he's my new target. Church should be supplemental to your life. It shouldn't be like, I go to church and then the rest of the 6 days I do whatever I want.
I'm a horrible human being.
It's there to remind you to be like, yeah, we all need a lot of help and we're all broken, and these are supplemental things and tools to help you be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I used to be, and I think a lot of Catholics feel this way, but I'll just speak for myself. I used to be terrified to go to confession.
Yeah, it feels like you're being punished.
Like, oh, I can't admit to the things, And then now, maybe it's because I've confessed all the scary stuff. You know what I mean? And now it's like I miss Mass.
You're desensitized.
Well, but now I look forward to it because it's like, oh, I feel lighter, if you will.
And you're more mature.
Yeah.
You get it. It's for your benefit. It's not for anything, any other thing.
It's not for anybody else. So I used to really put it off and not go because I'd be like, I can't. I don't. I'm so stressed out. I can't do it.
I almost feel selfish. Like when I haven't been to church at the Summit with that guy that I really like, John. Yeah. I haven't been there in at least 2 months.
Oh, no.
But when I went there, it relieved some anxiety by the way he's talking.
Yeah.
And I almost feel selfish because it makes me feel better and whatnot. But I'm like, it's when I think about it on the outside, I'm like, but why am I feeling better? Because I believe that somebody else is forgiving me for.
No, because you heard an uplifting message that maybe you wouldn't have heard that
and
day.
Hope, and also I think self-reflection can be scary.
Hope is not a strategy, but yeah,
self-reflection is very scary.
Yeah,
but I think that's a part of it. You're like, I could do better at this. I'm actually doing okay in this, but I have a lot to work on. And then if it's supported and it's done in a positive way, you're like, you can do it. And everyone in the room is the same as you.
Yeah.
They all got something they're struggling with. So, all right.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is a little audible here. We'll do Pike's Picks real quick.
Yeah.
High school football. We'll do it right now. And then you want to finish the show with our old confessionals?
Oh my gosh, because
we have Jason's, we have mine.
Oh my God.
We have
preview though.
They're safe for the air.
We can get canceled right now. How long ago?
This is 5, 6 years ago.
It's fine.
It was probably more than that.
Nora was just born maybe 7 years ago.
Oh, she's 9.
8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Oh, you should be barely cancelable.
We already said the part you don't like about the ovens.
Then we'll qualify it.
Yeah.
This was at a different time.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's Friday with high school football all across the Triad. Let's find out who Jared predicts will win or lose with another edition of Pike's Picks. On 107.5 KZL. Brought to you by State Farm agent Jennifer Buckley.
Welcome to week 7 of season. Why can I not say that?
I'll take that out next week.
Welcome to week 7 of season 17 of Pike's Picks. Last week, Jared correctly predicted 9 out of 10 games for a season record of 49-11. How will he do this week? To find out, let's go to the matchups.
Our game of the week features 2 teams ranked in the top 10 in the state as the undefeated Eagles. Heck yeah, Matt. Love it. Of East Forsyth take on the 4-1 Spartans.
Who's that Spartan clinging on to me?
It's me!
of Mount Tabor.
Yes.
Mount Tabor is led by their stingy defense that is only allowing a little over 11 points per game. Conversely, East Forsyth is led by an explosive offense that is averaging nearly 55 points per game. Who will win this battle of the top 10 teams? Pike's picks the Eagles of East Forsyth soar past the Spartans.
Who's that Spartan clinging on to me?
It's me!
Of Mount Tabor, 42-21. Let's go to the lightning round. Our Tripper Tailgate 1075 game of the week. They'll all be there. Southeast Guilford over Ragsdale, 30-23. Burlington Williams over Eastern Elements, 30-7. West Forsyth beats Glenn, 35-17. Reedsville over McMichael, 66-10. Northwest Guilford over Page, 35-21. Dudley beats their rival Smith, 59-7. Oak Grove over Ashboro, 48-13. Northern Guilford over Southwest Guilford, 56-10. And our blowout of the week, Randleman over Wheatmore, 63-0. For all other scores and matchups, go to 1075kzl.com and click on Pike's Picks.
This has been another edition of Pike's Picks on 1075 KZL. Brought to you by State Farm agent Jennifer Buckley.
Well, we just by chance came across our old confessionals. Katie was talking about how she's been trying to go to confession, and we're like, oh, wait a minute. We did this. We recorded our confessions one year, about 7-8 years ago. We just heard Katie's. We're going to have Matt's, Jason's, and mine. Maybe just for fun, we might throw Hugs in there.
Yeah, why not?
Former intern Hugs, maybe. That's next. Jared and Katie in the morning. Jared and Katie in the morning, 1075 KZL. All right, Katie was just sharing a story about how she thinks it's a bad sign that every time she actually drives to confession at her church and they have confession going on, she gets there at one time, it was just like, oh, sorry, it's canceled. Another time there's a funeral
yeah.
You can't do it. And so it's like, what? Trying to tell me something?
Trying.
So we found our old confessionals we did about 7-8 years ago. I'm going to start with mine because I want to get it over with because
it's not as easy,
I was
is it?
definitely married to
Yeah.
Kelly at the time.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
I think. Or maybe in between.
I was
depending.
playing a game in
Yeah.
here. Was Jared married?
Yeah.
Well,
I couldn't remember.
I had just had Nora when we did or maybe I had just had Henry. I don't remember.
Oh, boy.
I don't know.
I was married.
Yeah. Guess
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Yes.
Bishop, I have sinned.
I'm not a bishop, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, what I did was, this is embarrassing. It was so vile that, I don't know if I should tell you, but the other day I smelled something really, really good and I wanted to buy it. I asked the waiter what it was and he said it was coffee.
And?
Well, that's it. I lusted after coffee. That's terrible. We don't drink coffee.
I think you'll be okay. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Well, there's one other thing. I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but I really want to sew Jason Goodman's butthole together and force feed him until he knows what it's like to be fat and make him run sprints until his little midget body dies. Then I shock him back to life just to tell him that Tom Brady sucks. I'm the one that spray painted bastard on his car. Then with one quick jerk of his neck, I would end his little insignificant life.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
what type of coffee was it?
I'm not sure, but it smelled like it had vanilla in it.
I love vanilla.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so about me plotting to kill Jason Goodman.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Say 5 Hail Marys or do 5 Donny Osmonds or whatever you want to say. I think you'll be good.
That's it?
Yeah, listen. I know a guy that can make your problems go away if you know what I mean.
I don't. What do you mean? I'm not sure.
He can make it look like an accident.
Oh.
Son of a bitch has it coming.
Oh, okay. Father!
I don't think he.
Oh,
Wow.
Goodness, I don't know
What
if
in
he's
the world? That's the second
my
reference.
God.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a
This, but
priest or
no.
not.
What had you just done to us?
Something.
Probably acting normal.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Are
Just
they-
imagine the things we could confess now. Just
right.
imagine. Yeah.
There's lots that happened. Matt, here's Matt's confessional from 7-8 years ago. Who knows?
What seems to be troubling you, son?
Well, I just have a lot on my mind, and I feel like I need to confess.
Well, you've come to the right place. What's on your mind?
Okay, here goes. I have been telling lies recently.
Oh, what kinds of lies?
Well, I normally bring something to work every day for lunch. I always eat it. Always.
Okay.
But when Jared and Jason or someone at the station asks if I've eaten and I want to go to lunch with them, I say, no, I haven't, and I go anyway. I don't mean to lie to anyone. I just shame eat at this point. Basically, I'm eating more at lunch than most people eat in a day.
Well, you should always be honest with people, even if it involves food.
Yes, sir.
That seems a lot less painful than I anticipated.
Well, that's just starting to scrape the surface of the confession.
Oh, no.
Oh, please continue.
Okay, well, this next one is very disturbing and really worries me.
Well, remember, son, you can share even the most dark and disturbing truth with me, no matter how sick or violent or rude you think they may sound.
Wow, that is a relief. I was worried something might seriously be wrong with me. You see, the longer I work with Jason Goodman, the more he talks about women and his outlook on life, the more I seem to make sense of what he's saying.
That is dark and disturbing.
Right? Not saying that I agree with his stance most of the time, just he tends to use analogies and metaphors that sound idiotic and absurd. However, recently I've been understanding more and more of what he says, even explaining it to other people. What does this mean?
Understanding and agreeing are two different things. I'm less worried about you understanding his nonsense than I would be if you were preaching it like he does.
Well, that makes me feel a little better.
Do you feel better, son?
A little, but there is one more thing.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, son. What else is on your mind?
I have been having feelings, violent feelings.
Oh, what has brought on these feelings?
Hugs. I just don't get that guy. He's such a liar. He told me all I do is echo Jason Goodman, and I wanted to punch him right in his sack immediately. I couldn't help it. He made a huge deal about me owing him $5, but then he paid for his new car in cash. Is he trying to undercut me on the show? I don't know. I just think he's a piece of
Well, I'm not at liberty to share what has been said in other confessions, but yes, he is.
I knew it. Whatever. That Chewbacca lookalike can try all he wants, but he will never take my job.
You listening?
Yeah.
He does look like Chewbacca, doesn't he?
Yeah. And have you seen his new car? It's older than I am.
How funny was it when it wouldn't start the other day? After all, he got it because it was more reliable.
Yeah, and it was probably fine, and he just didn't know that it was a crank start because it's so old.
Actually, full disclosure, give it a week. I have it on good authority he is going to catch a flat tire.
I love it. Thank you. I feel much better now.
My work here is done.
I don't know if his father was sanctioned by the church, but
I don't think so.
I like him a lot. And we do have Jason Goodman's confession, and I believe it's the shortest of all of ours. This is from 8 years ago.
Yes?
I'm not religious, so, what do I do here?
Yes? Tell me what troubles you, my son.
Dad?
No, I'm not your dad. People call me father.
Oh, okay, because that freaked me out, because my dad's in Rhode Island, and I was like, what the hell?
Do you have something to confess?
Yeah. Now, you can't tell anybody, right? Not even the cops.
That's correct.
I want to kill Hugs. Jared, our promotions director.
Whoa.
Okay, I really want to kill Jared. Every time he opens his fat, righteous mouth, seriously, he thinks he's better than me.
Well.
What do you mean, well? What are you saying, Father? Or whatever they call you. You know what? I'll you up. I'll put sardines in your priest-mobile. Don't with me.
Get security in here.
Yeah, you're going to need it, Padre. I know people. You think you're safe in that booth? I'll get a ladder and punch you right in your priest eye.
Get him out of here. What a jackass.
Whoa.
Put sardines in your priest-mobile.
It's really rude.
Listen up, Padre.
That
was the best one.
Oh, I enjoyed that. We played Katie's earlier.
Yeah.
A few minutes ago. It was very funny. Not much has changed. Not much has
We
changed.
just take our anger out on each other instead because we don't have hugs.
It's just different ways. All right, we have we're going to have Song Pop. Jason Goodman's going to take on, he doesn't know it yet, intern Jalen.
Woohoo!
He's our new intern from A&T, and we don't know what the category is, and we'll find out what it is. Matt is the only one who knows what it is.
He's going to have to speak. He's going to have to say his name
right into the microphone. We'll coach him. Don't worry.
Try it now. Say Jalen.
Jalen.
There you go. You can do it.
Off to a good start. That's next. Jared and Katie in the morning, 107.5 KZL. Time for Jared and Katie's Song Pop. We love the game. The way it works, we have 7 Song Pop songs. We'll play a clip of the song. If you know the answer, yell out your name, you get a point. If you get it right, you get a point. You get it wrong, you do lose a point. No one knows the category except for Matt, who puts it all together. Matt, what is this week's Song Pop category?
I came across a video on TikTok that was one of those hey, did you know these songs were the top 10 back in blah, blah, blah?
Oh, those are fun.
So I did that. These are the top 10 songs from, we're only 7. with the top 7 songs from the Billboard Hot 100 10 years ago today.
Oh, I like that, Matt.
Excellent.
And playing today from A&T University, our newest intern Jalen.
How y'all doing?
Good.
He does not have an official intern name yet.
Yeah, if we had to do it now, it's like intern polite, but that's not fun.
That's not catchy.
But we appreciate you being polite. And then Jason Goodman. Jason Goodman, are you ready?
Mm-mm.
Intern Jalen, are you ready?
Gotta be.
All right, here
Does
we
he
go.
know how to play?
Yep, I just explained it.
Yep.
All right.
If he doesn't,
He'll learn.
He'll get a nickname pretty quick.
Yeah.
Gonna learn today.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Song Pop song number. We're looking for artist only. Number 1.
Go ahead.
Jason Goodman. 3.
Just-
Privacy might be nice.
Just I would like to not poop beside somebody
At all. I don't care.
ever.
Never.
Gives new
Right.
meaning to the idea of S-faced.
Yes, it does.
That should name it that. Yeah.
Yuck.
All right, Song Pop song number 2. Jason Goodman.
You've known these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Okay,
He's
good.
quick, but at least you knew him. Okay.
You know. Song Pop song number 3. Jason Goodman. 3,
Oh gosh, I
2,
forgot.
1.
Jalen.
You can just do it for fun. What?
Go ahead.
Katy Perry.
Nope.
Oh, okay, good.
But
Didn't
good.
go against
It didn't
you.
go against you.
Nope.
Jason does lose a point. It's Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nick Fishbones? No.
Bonefish.
Bonefish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fishbone's also good. All right. Other places have that. But all right. It is 2.
1
1-0.
Yeah, 1 to nothing.
Okay, you lost a point. Yeah. Song Pop song number 4. That's a stupid thing.
He wants something he can grab.
Jalen.
Jason Goodman.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
And jag and I hit him with the jab like dun 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 dun.
My anaconda don't. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Oh my gosh.
Catchy song. Anaconda. Also a pretty bad movie with Ice Cube in it. He's in,
And J-Lo.
and J-Lo. They're in the Amazon.
Oh, man, there's a lot of big name actors in
Yeah,
that one,
I
think.
watched it. I was entertained, but didn't do well. All right, it is 2-0. Song Pop song number 5.
But now you wanna be set free. This is the web that you weave. So baby, now rest in peace.
Jason Goodman.
Iggy Azalea.
Yes.
Whoa.
Good job. Featuring Rita Ora, Black Widow.
3 to nothing? 3? Is that makes it 3? Yeah.
3-0. All right, Song Pop song number 6. Jason Goodman.
Sam Smith.
Yes.
I need some new music from him.
Yeah, he's.
Where's he been?
I don't know. He's so
We
talented.
did Unholy
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That was
Well, last year.
2 years.
last year, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's so velvety.
Yeah, he's got such a tremendous voice.
I'm gonna take a nap in his voice.
All right, and just for fun, Song Pop song number 7. Jason Goodman.
Ariana Grande.
Yes. Her hit song, Break Free.
Break Free.
She does.
Here it comes.
Almost.
You're
welcome.
Yeah, Break Free. I love it.
You're welcome.
So what, 5-0?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Good game, intern Jalen.
He did.
Man.
You screamed out your name a couple times, just
you,
not
you
as
knew
quick.
some of them.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Jason is very good at the game. All right, Josie, she's next. 107.5 KZL. Have a great weekend.